Yes, what's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Jon Jones coming right back at you. UFC 182. I just got through watching it, and it was a pretty damn good main event. The main event was damn sure well worth your money. Daniel Cormier versus the UFC champ, Jon Jones, was a really good fight. It lived up to the hype, thank God, because sometimes we know a really big time fight that has a whole lot of hype sometimes just isn't up to par, with the hype. And this fight was more than up to par. It was really good. It was a really good fight. Classic, in my opinion. It will most definitely go down as a classic. So I'm basically going to talk about the two main hype fights. The rest of those fights, they wasn't really worth mentioning, to be honest with you. The rest of the card wasn't really worth talking about. It ain't one of those fights that I did miss. I missed the first one, to be honest with you. But on to the main hype fights. I want to talk about Donald Cerrone versus Miles Jury. It's like this. Miles Jury basically got dominated. He got dominated basically through the first round, the second round, and the third round. In the first round, Donald Cerrone was able to get him down to the ground, and he was trying to go for a rear naked choke pretty much the whole time. Almost got it a couple of times, but didn't get it in the first round. Second round, Miles Jury did a little bit better, but at the end, it was basically Donald Cerrone basically winning most of that round too. In the third round, we get to the third round, and these guys weren't really doing as much. It wasn't a whole lot of punching, it wasn't a whole lot of kicking, but Donald Cerrone is the guy who's landing the most kicks. He's landing the most punches. And, at one point during the fight, he was able to get him down. He tried to go for an arm bar. Or maybe that was the second round. It's a little hard for me to remember exactly. But, he got him down to the ground at one point, and then Miles Jury's on the ground. His back is up against the canvas, and Donald Cerrone is literally putting so much torque in his leg. He's just kicking his leg. He's just basically giving him leg kicks while he is on the ground. And then eventually the round ends. Donald Cerrone wins, and I guess he moves up, we can say. Miles Jury, he gets his first loss in the UFC. And I was actually kind of hoping that Donald Cerrone knocked this guy out because of, the stuff that he was talking about, Diego Sanchez. And I like Diego Sanchez. I didn't like him acting cocky like that. I really didn't. But moving on to the main event. The fight that we all been waiting on. The fight that really was the only good thing about tonight, in my opinion. Daniel Cormier versus Jon Jones. This was a really good fight, just like I said. And both these guys went right at it, right from the beginning. There was pretty much action throughout the whole rounds. It was the type of things you want to see. Jon was going for axe kicks to the head, rounds kicks to the head, side kick to the head. Apparently he got side kick to the neck. I didn't really see it. It's kind of hard to see from the angle, but Joe Rogan said, "Oh well, he side kicked him to the neck." Really good fight. Jon took him down a couple of times. He took him down especially a lot in the fourth round. So he took him down a couple of times. But also Daniel Cormier took Jon down a couple of times. But you might be a little surprised because if I'm not mistaken, Jon Jones took down Daniel Cormier more times than Daniel Cormier took down Jon Jones. But Daniel Cormier, man, he picked up Jon so hard, man. He picked him up, he picked him up really high and slammed him. He gave him a really good slam. And, both guys were landing punches. Daniel Cormier was landing kicks to the body. He landed a couple kicks to the body, and jabs too, like jabs, hooks, uppercuts. He was landing jabs and hooks and uppercuts on Jon's face. Jon was landing, jabs too, and he was landing some elbows. He was landing a couple of elbows. We all know Jon has really good elbows, and he was landing them. So he was basically clinched up with him, sort of like how he did Rashad Evans, just landing the elbows, in real close range. And so both these guys were clearly trying to destroy, they were trying to destroy each other. They don't like each other. Obviously, we all saw that through the hype up, that these guys do not like each other. So Jon is trying to hurt Daniel. Daniel is trying to hurt Jon. They both trying to take each other down. They both trying to show, hey, listen, I'm better than you. And ladies and gentlemen, throughout these rounds, you can clearly see that these guys are the two absolute very best. Daniel Cormier took Jon to the limit. Jon took Daniel to the limit. It was a really good, amazing fight. The only bad part I would say about the fight, not that it's really, really bad, but at the fifth round, both guys were just, it was like they were just hugging each other after a while. They were just grappling on each other. They were just hugging each other like in the middle of the ring and towards, putting them up against the cage, and they were just like hugging each other. I didn't like that. So they were pretty much hugging each other the whole time during that fifth round. It was very little striking, very little kicking, very little action in that fifth round. I don't know if both guys were tired. I know Daniel Cormier was trying to get him down to the ground because his coach had said, listen, you need to get it down, a takedown immediately. He didn't get that takedown immediately, but, like I said, he did get that really, really big slam. But even though after he slammed him, Jon Jones still rose right back up. So he got right back up, man. So it really, really didn't matter. And then even after the final bell in the fifth round, I believe somebody was throwing punches after the bell. I believe it was either Daniel Cormier, because John, he had if I'm not mistaken, because I think there was some little wrong with my stream. I think that John had celebrating before the bell had even already rung. It's like it was like 10 seconds left, and he was already celebrating. Because with my streams, it was like the words wasn't matching like the action. It was like 10 seconds faster for some reason. Unfortunately for me, after a while when I was watching the fight. But your winner overall, again, Jon Jones. Jon Jones walks out with the UFC light heavyweight title. He did not have nothing good to say about Daniel Cormier at all. He even said to himself, he's like, man, I'm sorry, I'm coming off as a prick, but I do not like Daniel Cormier. And John even, he poked Daniel Cormier in the eye too in I think it was the second round, maybe either the first or second round, but he poked him in the eye. It was an accident. That took no factor at all in his win at all. Jon Jones beat him because, he just did more. He landed more shots. I would most definitely say John won the first round. He arguably won the second round. I would say he won the third round. Fourth round, he probably lost that round. It was really, really close. It was really, really close. He most definitely won that fifth round. I guarantee you that he most definitely won that fifth round. The fourth round, I would say he won the fourth round too, because he took him down. He literally ripped his legs from under him. Jon Jones ripped Daniel Cormier's legs from under him and got him down to the ground twice that way. So it was like he just took his legs and just pulled them, and Daniel goes down. But this was a really, really good show. It was probably the best that anyone has really probably gave Jon Jones, a really, really tough competitive fight. So this was Jon Jones, ladies and gentlemen. If you haven't done so, please subscribe to my channel for my video topics, my MMA videos, my pro wrestling videos, any other video topics that I do talk about. I'm out. Deuces.